Welcome, everyone, to the first of our better improved Judge Blabs, or the fourth if you're counting all of them. We're taking a little bit of a new direction with the Judge Blabs heading into the future. I'm not going to try and do them every 2 weeks or 3 weeks like I was previously. We're going to do them when I've got the content that's worth doing. Big part of the content that's going to be worth doing is having special guests on who have something to talk about that's topical and relevant to the Australian community, or the wider community, but at least the Australian community. So that nicely segues into why Joe is here. Joe Soh is... I've got a quick little intro for him here. He's been the TO for GP Singapore and Manila last year. He managed to be the runner-up at Kobe last year. So that sounds like a pretty busy year of big events. Everyone's probably recognizing the surname and suspecting that he might be Terry Soh's brother. And he is uncertified in the judging area. So,
yep.
Welcome, Joe.
Hello, Garrett, and hello, everyone. Thank you very much for having me today.
Yeah. So let's get into some questions. The first question I've got here for you is, what's the short version of how you got into playing Magic?
I started Magic like a long time ago, maybe about 15 years back. My cousin, one day, he bought some booster packs. He's like, hey guys, I found this new game that's really fun. Let's try it. We played for a while. We really liked the game. A lot of friends were starting to play. We immediately got hooked up, and yeah, we just never stopped playing the game.
It's pretty much everyone's story. So, how long have you been in the tournament organising line of things?
I've actually been organising events for a while, but for Magic events, it's only my first year. Like last year was the first year, Manila, Singapore. So it's been a pretty good adventure. It's been a pretty good lesson, and I just feel that as a Magic player, I just want to do something back for the community.
Cool. So you're sort of jumping in at the big end. You didn't do smaller Magic events.
Yeah.
So what's the best thing a judge has done for one of your tournaments?
Well, I think judges is a lot of hard work. So just having judges around, supporting the communities, making the events work, that's really the best thing we could ask for.
And on the flip side of that, what's the best thing any of the players have done towards your big GPs?
Well, in GP Melbourne, there's one player. He's really wealthy. He actually sponsored 100 players for the event, so he can have 100 crystal brands, the promo. And on Sunday during the Commander tournament, he actually used the top loader. Each of his cards will have a crystal brand as the sleeves. So we look at it like, wow, that's pretty cool.
That's commitment to a relatively silly idea. That's very impressive.
I guess so.
Do we know if he was playing Gristlebrand in the deck? Or was it his commander? Or
his commander was Sliver Queen, so there probably should be some Gristlebrand in there.
Good. So let's move on to the things a little bit more relevant to our local viewers. So GP Melbourne is going to be your GP that we're interested in. Obviously, you're starting GP Melbourne in the correct city because it's the best city, right?
I have to agree to it.
Because some people won't know the answer to this, why have you picked Modern for this event?
The formats are determined by Wizards of the Coast, so we basically run it with what Wizards has determined for it.
Yeah. As this is an interactive thing, we're going to glance at Matthew's comment in the corner there and go, oh yeah, Gristlebrand is banned in Commander.
I just knew that. I don't really play Commander, so...
I do. I commonly turn up to matches with cards in my deck that are banned and go, oops.
Whoops, that happens.
Yeah, it's such a big deal in these casual formats, man.
Yep.
So yeah, back to our questions. What is our player cap in Melbourne going to be?
For the main event, it's 1,100 players. So yeah, do sign up quick.
Yeah, I'd like to think we're going to get at least really close to that.
I think we will be.
Yeah. Because the last GP Melbourne was close to it was big.
Yeah, I think the GP Melbourne last year was about 800 players. I remember it pretty clear because I was like 10th placing. I was barely at the top 8, lost my tiebreaker. So yeah, it was about 800 players.
Yep. Alan, also from New Zealand's trying to tell us 920-ish.
Yep.
Which, yeah, sounds about right. Onto the judge call. You put out a beautifully short judge call on judge apps. There's usually a lot of waffle in those things that isn't needed. So it was interesting that you did change it relatively early on. You fiddled with some numbers, I think. Could you discuss that?
Yeah, sure. Like when we open the judge app, like we don't really understand the full community, the cost of traveling, and throughout talking more judges, we get a little bit more idea that it's pretty expensive in Australia to travel between states. Like from Perth getting to Melbourne, Sydney coming down. So we decided to make it easier for judges. We decided to help the judges so that everyone can be a part of the event. So yeah, we decided to help a little bit on the compensation area.
Yeah, it's hard to sort of for everyone to get their head around. Australia's huge and not cheap.
Yeah.
It's good to see all these people completely new to to Blab joining up for this here. I don't expect many people to even know what this platform even is before this invite. Yeah, and all you New Zealanders liked a little bit of extra help on travel costs towards getting all the way over to Australia.
Well, I'm glad it helped. So yeah.
Sort of getting away from judgy matters. The Rebecca Guai playmat. I'm sure I'm mangling the pronunciation of her surname there, but that's the internet for us. I'm not really a huge fan of her art in general, but that mat really does look nice. But
Yep.
It's a bit of an interesting choice, a card that's never been playable in Modern. I mean, it's legal, but it's not good. Yeah, so why the Sarah Angel art?
Like I think recently all the playmats are like good cards and cards with nice arts, which I do agree they do looks pretty good. But I think I want to bring back something to remind people, why we play Magic. Like Sarah Angel is the icon to all most of us start Magic. Like when I started Magic, Sarah Angel is the biggest thing. So yeah, I just thought it's good to have an icon every here and there. So yeah.
When I saw the art first up, I couldn't remember what the card was. And when someone pointed out what it was like, I don't remember that art for Sarah Angel. That's not Sarah Angel art. And they were like, it's from the Vault Angels. And I'm like, no, I've known that art longer than that. The oversized cards that were in some magazine, they were up around the stores when I was first getting back into Magic. Well, when I was getting back into Magic, there was lots of them up around. And it's a art that I remember. Even if I don't love it, it still looks good.
Well, I guess that's the point. So I'm good that I found someone that actually enjoy the art that way.
Yeah. Yep. So that's the end of the questions I've prepared. So any of the people who are watching, have you got any questions? Would you like to jump in and chat on video or just ask questions in the chat?
Well, yeah, don't be shy. I don't bike, so.
I did mean to mention earlier in the chat that, yes, please ask us questions. You can use the fancy /Q to ask a question that pops up on the other side of the screen here and sort of forms a Q&A type thing, or we can just read the chat as it goes by because it's not that busy yet.
Well, there's definitely. This is Matthew. Am I correct?
Yep. And I think we probably should read the question out just so that if people just watch the video, they get better sense of what question we're answering. So Matthew's asked, was it difficult to organize a tournament in a country so far away from where you are?
Well, there's definitely difficulties in organizing events. I don't think the distance where the country is where it matters, but it's just when we want to make a good event, make an event that everyone goes there and get a good experience. There'll definitely be difficulty to it, but I enjoy what I'm doing, and at the end of the day, as long as everyone has a great time, everyone plays Magic, and everyone goes home happy, I think it's good.
Yeah, and I saw you were down in Melbourne for PAX last year. I'm sure you dropped past your venue and got to have a look at it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Not that it's a new venue to all the judges. We've done a few GPs at that venue.
Yeah, I believe so. So I think everyone's pretty familiar there. It's good, I guess.
Yeah. It's a pretty good venue. It's a nice location. It's not perfect. It'd be nicer if there was options of food in walking distance, but we can't be all that picky on our venues. So Mark Brown is asking, what's the hardest part of TOing a GP?
Wow, that's quite a tricky question. It's I guess the hardest part of it is usually pre-preparations because we need to plan quite a number of issues, logistics, events, the side event schedule, the judge, whether do we have enough judge, do we have enough crew on the floor to make sure the event is smooth. So there's quite a lot of pre-preparations to do, and it can be a little bit difficult coordinating from various platforms between the judges, the players, but yeah, we learn to get by that, and it's okay now, I guess.
You've been finding it easy to get along with all the judges in the different events?
I think the judge community in general a very great, helpful, and responsive community. I don't have too much trouble with the judges, and yeah, so far I think I've been pretty happy working along closely with the judges because I think the TO and the judges, we are under the same umbrella. We're trying to make a great event. So yeah, let's work together closely if we can.
Yep, I sort of hoped that because, I like to think us judges are nice people.
I think so too.
That's an interesting one there, Mark. Is there anything you'd like to organise at a GP that hasn't been possible yet?
Well, I can't really answer the question in details, but we definitely have plans to do something that everyone has not seen before yet.
I was sort of guessing that you were going to be cryptic on that because if it's a good idea, you'd still be trying.
Well, we have something planned up. And yeah, in GP Melbourne, you get to see something different, something special. So look forward to it.
Because, yeah, so I've heard that you've tried out some new and different things at the other GPs, such as Matthew, Alan mentioning here at GP Singapore, each player got an ID card to upload their tickets for the prize wall digitally.
Yes.
Are you thinking of doing the same at Melbourne?
Yes, we are bringing the system to Melbourne again, so the prize wall, the players will have a much easier time. The judges also should have a much easier time taking care of you. Well, you don't have to count like 1 million tickets, so I think it's gonna be a good thing for everyone.
Yeah, I heard, I can't remember the details, but it wasn't a system without some drawbacks, but I just like that we're trying new things continually.
Yeah.
And I fully expect that the second time it's done is better than the first.
It definitely will be. So we have some technical error in Singapore. We have fixed the error. We've debugged the software, so it's gonna be much more smooth than that. So yeah, we think the Australian players are really gonna like that new feature.
Yeah. So Mark's asking, has there been anything you've been surprised about organising events in Australia?
I think generally everything has been pretty okay. It's if I have to say I'm surprised would be probably maybe a cultural difference, I guess. Like Asia, it's players whether they are happy or unhappy, they discuss it in the community, and I find it Australians are a bit more vocal. Whatever they are feeling happy, unhappy, they actually bring it to social media, and yeah, it's more of a cultural difference.
Yeah, Australians are very forthright with what their thoughts are.
Yep.
It's one of the things we try to moderate a bit when we're interacting with people who aren't Australian. I particularly need to work on that at times because even amongst Australians, I've been accused of being a little bit too forthright.
Well, I think it's a good thing. Like we get to understand clearly exactly what are the expectations from each other. So it's not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, it just takes. Some people can have trouble not taking it personally when an Australian complains about everything. Any more questions, our avid listeners, watchers, viewers, that's the word, isn't it? I must say this blab is going much better than some of the previous ones. We've got like 6 people watching at the same time. It's amazing.
Oh, here are some questions I see.
Mark's wondering that if budget or anything else was unlimited, what would be the perfect artist lineup at a GP?
Okay, I'm gonna ask Mark first, and then the next question later on. So, if budget constraint isn't the problem, it's probably gonna be John Avon, Rob Alexander, and probably Mark Teddy. I think yeah, this artist lineup would be amazing if budget is unlimited.
Yeah. It's always tough comparing to the US GPs where they spend pennies compared with what you need to spend to get to people to Australia, and they can get 10 artists to turn up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Amelia, has asked, is there a typical side event plan you start with for these events, or is it tailored to I'm going to paraphrase a bit, tailored to the local community a lot? Particularly, Australia has a local format that has a lot of fans of what we call Australian 7-point Highlander, and I'm sure there's many people asking, is that going to be a side event?
For the side events, usually we do have some side events that is successful from our previous GPs, and where the response is good, we include them in our side event list, which we will bring over to the other GP and continue for that. But we definitely include more side events based on what the local community likes. Like for here in Melbourne, we actually have a lot of internal format side events. One of the side event that was really popular when we did it in Singapore was the Chaos Seal. So we're definitely bringing it back. And yeah, we learn through every event what's good. We bring it to the next one and hope to introduce to the community there.
I've had a lot of fun playing Chaos Seal at times.
Yes.
Back in days of nationals and before I was judging, so much fun. And even when you get handed a booster in a language that you have no ability to speak, it's still fun.
Yes.
And yeah, Mark does mention we have had those three artists you mentioned at various Australian GPs over the years. Yeah. Rob Alexander is nearly groan-worthy to some Australians in how many times he's visited Australia and been at events. Not that we ever mind him coming, because he's firstly such an amazing artist and secondly a really great guy to hang out with. But yeah, he's come to everything. He's even come to the little convention of CanCon a handful of times, which is on starting either tomorrow or Saturday in Canberra, which is a board gaming and war gaming convention where there's a room of magic. And yeah, he likes coming to Australia enough that he came to that. Back to a question from Alan. I think that's Alan. What are the main logistical challenges you foresee for GP Melbourne?
I've heard that the side event in Melbourne is very, very strong compared to what we have in Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, we generally run about maybe 20 on demands throughout the weekend. So I've heard that the last GPCD there was like about 100 on demands. So we think that's probably going to be a little bit of a challenge because we've never actually organized an event with this huge side event turnout. So we hope to work on that by having more judges, more staff crew. I think I've mentioned and shared with some of the senior trades from Australia that we probably want to have about 45 judges. And we are probably looking to have maybe 20, 25 crews for the event. So we hope with that, it should be sufficient, we hope. Yeah.
Cool. I do wonder how much the lots of on-demand events has been pushed by having the playmat be not for the main event and being for on-demands and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I do like the playmat being for the main event. I like that. That feels like the right thing.
I agree to that.
Back to Mark now with a question on, are you concerned about the recent modern banning? I suspect that's in relation to attendance numbers for Melbourne. Do you think it's going to have a big effect?
I actually don't think so. In fact, as a player, I'm pretty happy with the banning. I've never been a fan of Split the Screen and the Bloom deck. I would definitely play more modern in this new format, so I hope it goes the same for most of the players out there.
Yeah. Formats tend to suffer more just before a banning than after it.
Yeah.
The bannings tend to be good for the format.
Yep.
Like, yeah, there's the people who have had the deck they wanted to play taken away from them, but plenty of them will find another one, and lots of other people turn up because the deck they don't want to play against won't be there.
Exactly.
That said, I really loved GP Singapore, the Core Blade one,
Yep.
where it was so many mirror matches. And yes, it was horrible as a judge because so many matches went to time and it was horrible in all of those ways. But I think it was LSV who won it, playing the mirror every round and not losing a round, just showing that he is such an amazing player. that aspect of it was amazing. Like, I don't know how you can be that much better at Magic than other great players to win the mirror that consistently. It's very impressive.
Well, he's LSV, so you can't really compare anyone to him. So
Yeah. So yes, people are commenting that yes, they do like the playmat being for the main event. Amelia is one of the local level ones, so while she did apply, she is to judge the event. She's fully expecting that she may be playing. Although we'll keep reminding her to get on the work towards getting to level 2, and I'm sure she'll get there soon.
well, it would be good if she gets to level 2 before Sydney. So because Sydney, we definitely expect probably a bigger crowd because it's 1 week before the Pro Tours. We are definitely looking at much more judges. So
yeah, an extra couple of 100 players from the pros being in town early.
Yep.
And all the extra players turning up to play because there's a bigger chance of playing a pro. And it being in Sydney, which gets pretty good numbers, and Sealed gets good numbers, it should be pretty impressive.
Yep.
It'll be great for all us Australian judges to experience our biggest day 2 ever.
Well, the Sealed Day 2 is probably going to be really, really big now that 18 pointers get to make Day 2. It's probably going to be like maybe 40, 50 pots of 40, 50 draft pots. So, yeah, that's going to be massive.
Yeah. I remember Australian GPs being smaller than that on day 1. Yeah. Doubling the size of day 2 is not going to be so much fun.
There's definitely a little bit more planning works to do, but well, we'll manage, I guess.
Yeah, we'll manage. There'll be a lot of players. There'll be so many more players making day 2 for their first time.
Yep.
Yeah. Amelia has asked, do you prefer running constructed or limited GPs?
The past 2 events we run are actually constructed, so we have not run a limited GP yet, and we're definitely looking forward to it.
Is Sydney going to be your first limited, or have you got something else in the middle there?
Yes, actually, Sydney will be our first limited GP.
Okay. Yay! We all get to experience that.
Yep. Oh, thanks.
While we won't, while I know you will not be, and we'll try and not let it come to luck either, some luck helps.
Yes.
Also, learning the useful lessons from the other ones that are going to happen around the world before then. And also, we're going to have a heavy lot of international L3s applying to judge that GP, I imagine.
Yes, we would think so as well.
Yeah, so we should have some experienced judges for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Mark's asking, how much communication and networking is there between the different GPTOs?
We do have our TO group, which we generally do communicate on some of the big issues around, some of the policy changes, but in general, we try to establish and ensure our GPs are run well now on. So yeah.
Cool. That's a good question there, Mark. Thank you. And yep, looks like Joe's dropped down to just audio due to connection not being as awesome as it could be.
Sorry, can you hear me?
I can hear you, can't see you, but
yeah,
the voice is the most important bit. The only reason I went to a video format for these things is apparently all the kids these days love video. So Mark's asking, what would you say is your signature as a TO? What's the unique thing you bring to a GP?
Wow, Mark's actually asking a lot of pretty interesting questions here. Signature as a TO, it's well, I would want to say the ID card is probably one of our signature because we think we are probably the first in the world to introduce that for study players. I would like to think that I work very, very closely with the judges. So, yeah, I'm not too sure how to define signature because I'm only around 2 GPs, but yeah.
Yeah. Is the ID card just for prizes, or does it also streamline enrollment in events?
Yes, like the ID card will contain all the players' data, all the players' information. Like instead of previously when you sign up for a side event, you need to fill out DCI, your name over and over again. This ID card will have all your information. So you just need to go to the side event counter, tell the staff what event you're registered to, tap your card, all your information will appear, pay the money, and yep, that's done.
That is such a better idea. Everything that so many side events, the bottleneck is enrollment in events.
Exactly.
And yeah, I've been thinking we should always have more technology to solve that.
Yeah,
it's good to see someone doing it.
We are still constantly trying to work on that, but so far we think the software we have is pretty good. Eventually, we're going to try to integrate it with more system. We may want to make it more. So yeah, we're still working on that. We hope with HGP it gets better.
That's what we hope for. But obviously, there's always the fallback of doing it the old school way. Because, yeah, technology can fail.
Yep. So it's always good to have a backup, but yeah.
Yeah. It's a backup. It's not plan A.
I see we have another question from Mark.
Yep. He's asking, are the ID cards unique for each event, or can they use it across multiple events? So
yes, they can
event
use
being each GP, I imagine. Yeah.
Oh, no, they're unique to each GP only because, well, when you give someone technology long enough, they'll find a way to hack into it. So it's only for each GP.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. And well, on the technical side, we definitely don't want players to be playing one GP, accumulate like 1,000,000 points in the cards, go to the next GP, and the moment you open up doors, like Friday 9 a.m. They just boom redeem everything on the price wall. Nope, that's not what we want.
Yeah. Particularly with big traders or things trying to do that. Yeah, that would be really bad.
Yeah.
I know some players have complained about traders doing that already, just being that them buying the first few thousand points and then buying some of the big things getting in the way of the players trying to grind the whole weekend to get the big prize they want.
In general, we do not support the vendors and the big traders to do so because we believe that the price wall is actually a reward for the players playing. So we totally do not support and endorse vendors buy. In fact, if vendors are actually interested in that, we are going to take serious action to it.
Cool. Looks like some people are heading off for dinner, who are our major question contributors. And something just went ding at me. Oh, that's unrelated. So while this has been relatively short, it's been very good so far. So unless anyone has any other questions, although someone's asking me to remind them where this is. Hopefully that link doesn't give them extra privileges. I'm interested in who's listed their location as somewhere in Africa who's watching. Alan has a question of, when are we expecting to see more information on side events? He'd like to let his local players know as soon as possible. And it's quite relevant for people all the way from New Zealand to get some long lead time to be able to get good prices on airfares.
Yeah, we've actually just finalized our side events, so we expect this side event schedule to go up on our website live within a week or so. Yeah.
Cool. Which is quite a good lead time. That's well in advance.
Yep.
And I assume that if they want to get information on that as soon as possible, they should be following your Facebook page? Or is there some other way you'd prefer them? Is there any other thing that's better for them to be keeping in touch?
Yeah, I think the Facebook page is probably the best way. We will definitely be posting on our Facebook page as well as most of the Australia, New Zealand group pages. So we're looking forward to introduce the side event list as well as the playmat arts that everyone's been waiting for. And yeah, I think our artists have done an amazing job with the playmat art. So I'm pretty excited to share that with the rest of the community as well.
Yeah. It would probably make sense to paste a link to the Facebook page in the chat on the side there right now.
Oh.
Which I'm sure you can generate quicker than I can.
Yep, that definitely works. So.
Because, yeah, searching Facebook, it's terrible.
Well, and yep, here's our Facebook link. So do help us to share it out and spread the word to the other players who are looking forward to this event as well.
Yep. Sweet.
I'll also just share the link to our main event website. So there's a little bit more information there, which
Yep. Which is good. Are you much of a sort of wrapping up while people think of any other questions? Are you so the Facebook group's probably the best place for people to try and interact with you, or
the Facebook group is a general where we are always keeping a watch on our Facebook page, and so do send us any inquiries, any things you'd like to know, and we respond to the relevant questions as soon as possible.
Yeah. There just might be a slight delay while you're in some foreign country doing a pro tour. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up there. That leaves a great body of stuff for people to tune in and watch on replay. I'll be posting the replay to Facebook as soon as it is ready. And Matthew, slipping in before we finish, can you say what the venue for GP Sydney is yet, or is that too early?
Yes, the venue has actually already been confirmed. It's up on the business website. It's going to be Sydney Showgrounds, the venue last year, but we're using a different hall, actually a bigger hall. So
Yeah. I know there's mixed opinions on there, but I quite like the venue. It gets a good village feel with it sort of being out of the way a bit.
Yeah, and I think in Sydney there isn't much venue that's big enough to accommodate the GP, so we don't really have much choice there.
Yeah. Yes, you can book accommodation now. Okay. Thank you very much, Joe, and all of our questioners and viewers. It's been good interacting with you all, and I look forward to seeing all of you at GP Melbourne.
Yep. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for having me. And have a good time, and look forward to working together with you in GP Melbourne.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And pay attention to the Facebook page for the Judge Blab if you're interested in finding out when the next of these happens and what the topic will be. Please suggest any topics you have, as we are interested in what you're interested in seeing. And if you're interested in guest hosting and presenting, please contact me as well. I'm open to all suggestions. And the Facebook group to watch that stuff's there. You could also watch it on Blab or whatever. That's all for tonight. Please enjoy your Thursday and enjoy your release tomorrow.